If you're like most programmers, tool library management and naming presets is not usually the highest of your priorities. If you're starting out, organizing your library can feel like a daunting task, and if you've been programming for years, you may have developed bad habits of building a tool from scratch every time or never taking the time to set up presets in the first place. I've created this video to show you how to go about setting up tool libraries in Fusion so that they can work best with Toolpath. In this video, I'll explain how to set up tool libraries in Fusion based on material and machine type, assign presets for each tool, show how to export Fusion tool libraries and import them into Toolpath, and create cut configs for each material. First, let's start in Fusion and open up our tool library in the manufacturing workspace. I've created this basic non-ferrous tool library with a few tools for this demonstration. Non-ferrous includes metals like aluminum, brass, and copper. If we highlight a tool by clicking on it, we can see at the bottom there is a default preset associated with this tool. A preset specifies all of the cutting parameters required for how the tool will behave. Speeds and feeds, depth of cut, width of cut, SFM are all parameters that need to be assigned. Most tooling vendors will have this data for each tool. So let's build out a preset for this tool. In this case, we're going to use it for roughing aluminum. I'll start by naming this preset alu_rough. When naming presets, it's essential that you use the same naming convention across all tools. Presets are what Toolpath uses to understand how you program and the feeds and speeds that you run in your shop. Once we have all the data for alu_rough, we'll need to assign the parameters for finishing, boring, facing, etc. This does take a bit of time to build out for each tool, but the time you put in now will pay dividends in the future. Now that we have a nice organized tool library, we are ready to import our tools into Toolpath. You can do this by right-clicking on your tool library and clicking Export Tool Library. You can save the library as either a .tools or .json file. Now let's hop over into Toolpath. Let's navigate to the Tools page and click the orange button that says Create. We are uploading a tool library, so we'll select Tool Library. The Finder window pops up, and now we can navigate to where we saved our Fusion tool library. We'll click Open, and now we can see our tool library has been successfully imported into Toolpath. Now that we have imported our library, we need to tell Toolpath exactly how we want it to look at our tools. We do this by creating a cut config. So let's hop over to the Cut Config tab, then we click Create Cut Config. Here we will see our Fusion tool libraries we have imported along with the cutting roles in each box. Let's click on the box to select that tool library, and right away you will see the available presets to choose from in that library. Now we simply drag and drop each preset where we want it to be used for each cutting role. For example, when Toolpath needs to face a part, it's only going to look for a tool with alu_rot adaptive rough. Now we can name our cut config to Brother Speedio Aluminum and click Save. If you want this cut config to be used as the default when uploading parts, we can also set that up in Preferences. Let's click Preferences, and in the default cut config dropdown, we can select our Brother Speedio Aluminum cut config. Setting up tool libraries for Toolpath can feel like a tedious process, but following these guidelines will help you in the long run and will make you more productive when estimating and programming parts. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more updates as we define AI for CNC together.